All right, catching back up with Monarch Legacy of Monsters with the sixth episode, Terrifying Miracles. Wow. Godzilla makes an appearance in this one, so that's good. Both in the current time and in the past. Oh, well, current time being 2015. So I'm still liking the show. If you follow me, you probably heard of me through Doomcock's channel, and I was on his pop culture breakdown show. And he's done. He's because he's sick of the girl boss template, and he's not wrong about that. That is certainly there. I'm not quite with him on that as far as being that irritated by it, but he was, and it certainly is there. But the thing of it is that more to the point for me is what's credible or what is believable or what have you. And yes, there is such a thing as know-it-all sexist women. And such is the case here in some elements. The character of Kate is such that she's dealing with what she figures was the loss of her father, discovering that he was unfaithful to her mother. Then we learn that she's just like Daddy and unfaithful to her girlfriends. Which is more, I thought was a more intriguing backstory for her. As far as May, being the greatest hacker of all time and that sort of thing. He was like, that was enough. And the thing of it is that the woke era has irradiated the landscape, so that when you get an inkling of that, it's like, it pushes you out, and for a lot of cases, that's going to happen. And I would submit in some ways it's unfair, but that's the way it is, and that's what the entertainment industry did to itself. And that's going to continue for quite a while. And it's unfortunate, because so far, nothing's perfect, and there's stuff that irritates me even in this show. But at the same time, it's just not enough to shove me out of it. And of course, snotty personalities could be a part of your story, and that's just the way it is. In some ways of this, I think some of them need to get some humility, in their arrogance and whatnot. The one thing about May is that it appears she was always a spy, and I guess the only credibility there is that, of course, Monarch knew who Hiroshi's son was, and so whatever debt she owes, that's what she's paying off here. And she has to confess all of this to the other two as they decide to split off from Shaw, because Shaw reveals that he's on Godzilla's side. And of course they think that's crazy, especially Kate after what she went through in San Francisco. And so the group splits up. Duvall comes in, and especially with, one of my pet peeves of toothpick-limbed supermodels tossing men around. Here, she does this. She's supposed to be this, trained assassin, bodyguard, whatever, that kind of thing. And she's a tall lady, but, she doesn't have, like Gina Carano has the physicality that you could believe it in some scenarios. And this was close quarters as she rescues Shaw from Monarch's guards to go rogue with him. But she takes out 3 of these guys. They're armed and stuff. You don't really see it all. It's just they get tossed out and all that sort of thing. But, come on. So anyway, okay. So then they find Hiroshi. He is alive, and he's luring a Titan. Lo and behold, the Titan is Godzilla, who rises up out of the mountain range and all of that. And he winks at Kate. Not really, but they make eye contact. Meanwhile, back in the past, we learned, which should come as no surprise whatsoever, and is that Shaw and damn it, what's her name? This is terrible. The Japanese scientist, that's the head of Monarch. Miura? Is that Miura? Anyway, they flirt and make out and stuff because there's an attraction there, even though seemingly she's supposed to be involved with Randa. But he's really no competition for the dashing Shaw with his Kurt Russell looks, being Kurt Russell's son, but playing the same character and all that stuff. And I think ultimately it will reveal that Randa is not the father of Hiroshi's. I mean, not the father of Hiroshi, meaning that Shaw is actually their grandfather. And I think that's more than likely going to be the deal. So, how about that, huh? So, again, infidelity and whatnot runs in the family. So, you know, but and that's the thing about how you basically, what can you do with limited resources to follow up as a spinoff of a motion picture series. And so you do a soap opera. That's what you do. If you craft it well and you've got some glorious appearances of Godzilla, special guest star Godzilla, stuff like that, and the other monsters that show up. So far, they've done it fairly well. And then there's this mystery and stuff, even though it's pretty obvious, I think, that's maybe they'll surprise it's not the case, you know. But I think it's probably going to reveal that Shaw is grandpa. So, what have you? Anyway, this was a fine episode, and I tend to prefer the ones when they jump back and forth in the time, stream, what have you. And so I like that. Some of the previous episode, they didn't really do it. You know, I was kind of missing that. But nevertheless, there it is. And so they meet Godzilla yet again in the past to discover that the atomic bomb didn't take him out. In fact, it probably fed him. At least that's how it was in some of the movies. Anyway, and so Shaw's like, well, we're going to have to go tell the boss and all this. Well, now they got a new boss because he violated the rules to join Randa and Mira. Can't do it. And this sort of thing, where they discovered that Godzilla is alive and well, which is, well, it's a good thing they did, didn't they? You know, but still power shuffling over at the military and whatnot. So now they got a new boss. They don't know nothing about. They didn't, and, you know, they were complaining about Puckett and all of that. Because, you know, he was referring to her as, hey, don't worry, she's one of the good Japanese. Stuff like that, he would toss it around. You know, but now, well, you didn't like him. Careful what you wish for. Now they got this new guy who doesn't trust any of them, and that's the setup where it ends there. So, I'm still enjoying the show, and it's cool to see Godzilla and all of that. So, happy with it so far, more or less. There's things they could have fixed and done better, but I'm still fine with Monarch.